Guys, I hope you're doing good. This is Pratishta, your IELTS tutor. And in this lesson, we'll be going on and about writing task. So we will do writing 1 and writing 2. I know we have done it before as well, but this time we will practice and we will see both of them together, right? So let's take a look. Um, so let me just first review what are the agendas for today. So today we will talk about the writing mock test. So in this session, we'll take a full-length IELTS writing to mock test, writing task 1 and task 2. Um, and I would prefer if you could do it under timed conditions, of course, because in IELTS it's going to be timed. You need to develop strategies for organizing and structuring your essays, and then analyze and review your performance to identify key areas of improvement. So what is the IELTS writing test, right? So IELTS writing will have two kinds of tests. We have discussed it before. It's task 1, where you'll be given a graph, a chart, or anything pictorial, and you must write about 150 words, right? Where you need to summarize everything. So if there are two types of data, you need to, I would say, compare it and then write your answers. You will write a 250-word essay responding to a given prompt. You need to express your opinion and discuss both sides of an issue. So, second task is an essay writing. You will be given a topic. You have to tell your opinion and you have to discuss both sides of the issue, like something like that, anything out of both of them. Then you have IELTS writing task. The first task is analyzing the graph. I would suggest analyzing the trends that's going on. So trend as in what you see literally. Make comparison and always provide important data points. You need to make sure that you're planning your response. Planning in writing is essentially important because if you don't plan it, it would show and it would reflect on whatever you have written. I would suggest that before starting, give it 5 minutes to organize, right? Because even organization is super important. I would also suggest to summarize, right? Just summarize everything. Don't give your opinion in the first task. It's more of a summary thing. It's not an opinion based data or anything, right? So just summarize. I would suggest use a variety of vocabulary that's relevant to that task, right? So describe trends such as increase, decrease, fluctuate. Like what is the moving thing that's happening there? In task 2, plan your essay, right? Make sure that you have everything with you. Use clear structure, right? So make sure that your structure is clear. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, so that the structure should be clear. You need to provide examples. So if you're writing an essay, always make sure you're providing an example as an evidence, which will support your arguments. And you need to stay focused. Again, if you're not focused, if your mind gets diverted, you will create problems and mistakes. So writing test is essentially you start with task 1 and you spend 20 minutes on your task. After that, you move to task 2 and you spend approximately 40 minutes on that task, right? And that's pretty much it. So now, for example, this is the question, right? So you see it's City Hospital in 2007 versus City Hospital in 2010. So again, what can we see? We can see north, south, west, east. So if this sort of map is given, always use it. Bus stop was there, but now there's a roundabout. So the bus stop is gone. Here, car park and car park staff in public. It was like this car park staff is now only for staff, right? It's not public anymore. Public car park is here. So parking has changed. Um, this sort of a thing, I am not sure what it is, but we can also ignore it if we don't know it, if you're not sure about it. But here they have added a bus station. There are two roundabouts now, right? So instead of 0 roundabouts, there are 2 roundabouts. So these are the essential changes, right? Now let's see. So these two maps, they illustrate the road access to a hospital, city hospital in 2007 and 2010, highlighting changes in infrastructure. So there has been changes in infrastructure. In 2007, access to hospital was primarily from Hospital Road, with 6 bus stops located along this road, 3 on each side. Okay, so that is a bus stop. It's a stop. 3 on each side. A single car park serving both the public and hospital staff was situated to the east of the road. This simple layout with no major intersections provided straightforward but somewhat limited access. Right? So in 2007, it was a straightforward, but it had limited access. In 2010, significant changes were made to improve accessibility. So why were these, according to you, changes made? It was basically just to improve accessibility. Most notably, 3 roundabouts were added, one at the junction of Hospital and City Road, one midway along Hospital Road, and one connecting Hospital Road to the Ring Road. These roundabouts likely helped to ease traffic flow. Additionally, the bus stops were relocated to a new constructed bus station positioned west of Hospital Road. Furthermore, the single car park was divided into 2 separate lots, a public car park to the east of the hospital, accessible from Ring Road, and a dedicated staff car park located to the south, accessible from the second roundabout. So again, you have to create these kind of using your north, south, east, west kind of things. Overall, the 2010 map shows a more sophisticated and organized infrastructure, improving both traffic flow and accessibility to the hospital. So that is pretty much it about how you can go ahead and summarize your maps, right? It's pretty much you first have to analyze the whole picture, the whole image. After you analyze the image, then you would go ahead and start writing. So you need to plan out a little bit. Coming to the essay, our topic is living in a country where you have to speak a foreign language can cause serious social problems as well as practical problems. To which extent do you agree or disagree? So again, here you have to talk about a city where you have to speak foreign languages, right? It can cause social problems. It can cause practical problems. You have to mention both. And it's asking to what extent do you agree or disagree? So you have to choose only one. Give relevant examples as well from your own knowledge or experience. So now, introduction. Living in a country where one must speak a foreign language can indeed present serious social and practical challenges. Now, this is standard. While some may argue that these obstacles can be overcome with time and effort, I largely agree that the difficulties associated with language barrier are significant and lead to a range of problems. So, this thesis makes it clear that I don't agree with it, right? That I don't agree with foreign language. I mean, I agree with the fact that it is going to cause problems. So, first body paragraph. From a social perspective, the inability to communicate effectively in the local language can lead to feelings of isolation and exclusion. This is the first point. People often form connections based on shared experiences and communication. If someone cannot participate in everyday conversations or understand cultural nuances, it becomes much harder to build meaningful relationships. For example, someone who moved to a foreign country for work may find it challenging to integrate with colleagues or neighbors, which could lead to loneliness and sense of alienation. Right. So again, if you are not connected with someone, with their culture, with their language, how they speak, it can often lead to alienation. Right. On practical level, language barriers can also result in misunderstandings in essential services such as healthcare, education, or public administration. So, misunderstanding is the next point. Not understanding the local language could make navigating bureaucratic procedures, such as applying for residency or opening a bank account, much more difficult. Furthermore, in emergencies, not being able to communicate effectively could have serious consequences, right? So, for emergency situation, for I would say practical situations, government situations, documentations, all of these things, it can cause problems. For instance, again, Someone who cannot explain their symptoms in a hospital might receive inappropriate medical treatment, right? This is just an example. That said, while these problems are real, they are not insurmountable. Means they cannot be, it's not huge, it cannot be surpassed. Many people who move to foreign countries eventually learn the language, even if it takes time. Language learning resources such as language schools, apps, and cultural exchange programs can help individuals adapt. However, this process requires patience, persistence, and often a supportive environment, right? So, this is like we have given two reasons, and then we said that it's not that big of a deal. It can still, like, there's a resolution that's given in this paragraph, right? Then you have conclusion. In conclusion, while it is possible to overcome language barriers with effort, the initial difficulties can be severe and should not be underestimated. Social isolation and practical complications are real issues that can make living in a foreign country without language proficiency challenging. Therefore, I agree with the statement that living in a foreign country where one must speak a different language can cause serious social and practical problems. And that is your conclusion, where you have given a summary of everything, and you have also explained your point that you agree that it can cause like social problems or any other kinds of problems. Again, let us discuss some common mistakes. So, common mistakes while writing could be not planning. Um, if you have not planned, again, your thoughts will not be organized and it would seem like a mixture, right? So, don't try to not plan. Plan it, take 5 minutes, keep 30 minutes for writing, at least 5 to 10 minutes you can keep for planning because that is super important. If it's planned, you can write fast. Then you have not following the word counts. You need to follow the word count. If you are exceeding it by 20, 30 words, you will, have your marks deducted. Third point is writing off topic. I would suggest stay on the topic. Do not swerve away. And again, this happens because you have not planned. Then you have overcomplicating sentences. Don't overcomplicate. Don't try to show off. Keep it simple. Keep it normal. Just use a mixed variety wherever possible. Some tips could be that practiced time writing, right? Make sure that you are timing yourself. Focus on clarity because that is most important. It should be clear, your writing. Expand your vocabulary. Make sure that your vocabulary is pretty good, and review and revise. After each test, I would suggest you to review your test, revise your test, and also, yeah, before the essay or maybe whatever writing part you have done, take 5 minutes to plan it. After the essay, take 5 minutes to review it, right? So those 10 minutes are fixed. Um, After you complete the mock test, like if you are writing on the same topic, check for organization and structure, right? Make sure it is presented in a logical manner with the connectors. Make sure you have given all the examples and make sure your vocabulary and grammar is good, right? You are able to do it. So today we took a full length test under timed conditions. We did not actually time it as such, but if you are going to do it, I would suggest you to time it, right? With 5 minutes given for your 5 minutes given for your structuring and 5 minutes given for revision, right? Discuss common mistakes, right? We discussed common mistakes, right? And we discussed tips on how you can make your writing better. We analyzed and reviewed test results to identify area of improvement. I also want you to write on the same topic and just compare. Your homework could be to write on the same topic or maybe to write on a different topic. And then you can definitely bring back your answers for review. And I guess that is pretty much it with writing. Planning is super important. Make sure you're planning. After you have written, make sure you're revising. These are the additional 10 minutes that you need to give to your writing tasks. And with that being said, that is it for this class. I hope you're able to write. It's not that difficult, just needs some organization of thoughts. Okay, so I will see you in the next class.